What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal month so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Scorpio, because it's Celestial News Monthly. Literally, one of my favorite times of the month. But with this monthly spread, Scorpio, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So Scorpio, I have oracle cards laid out here with the zodiac signs that the planets are in. I'm going to pull an oracle card for each of them, and then we're going to get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case if you all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also I've included some links down there with some readers that I also like as well, so definitely go check them out. Let them know that I sent you over there, Scorpio. Just spread the love around. But let's talk about the party that Cancer's getting ready to go down. I'm super excited about this season. My sun signs in Cancer, so I just can't help myself, Scorpio. I'm gonna be just lit all month. So brace yourself. But we got the sun and then Mercury that are gonna be having a little shindig in Cancer. But the sun is going to enter Cancer on the 21st of June at about 9:58. That's going to be Central Time. And then we'll be there until the 22nd of July. And with this energy, Scorpio, this begins the summer solstice. Are you ready to party, go to the beach, get some sun, all that stuff? We got all this daylight that's going to be coming here, Scorpio. Fantastic energy. But with this Cancerian energy in particular, this is a great energy for focusing on our close relationships. You know, maybe with our friends, our family members, our lovers. Well, no, you know, judgment-free zone, Scorpio. So if we got lovers in the mix, if it's plural, I'm with it. But it's about forming those close relationships, Scorpio. And if things haven't been feeling like there hasn't been, and if we haven't been feeling any security there, if there's any sort of like doubts or concerns or anything along those lines, allow this Cancerian energy to help you to express those emotions. Really don't be afraid to feel this stuff and to let them be known, Scorpio, because this is great energy as well. Again, with Cancer being such an emotional sign, being able to feel just a bunch all the time with the moon being their ruler. This is really a great time to just get eyes on that, Scorpio, because you're you're an emotional sign as well. Being a water sign, but you just feel you feel where we all, you Cancer and Pisces feel real deep. You probably feel the deepest and the most intense. So this is a great energy for you to really nurture yourself if you've been maybe feeling any sort of like particularly intense emotions, and allow yourself that grace and that compassion, Scorpio, because it can be where, yes, summer solstice can be a fun time, but depending on where we're at emotionally, it can change the flavor, all the time. So just something to be mindful of there. But the nice thing, though, with Mercury entering Cancer, Mercury's going to enter Cancer on the 26th of June and will be there through the 10th of July. And this is great for strengthening the bonds with yourself and with others. And it really brings, it's like this very King of Cups energy, where it's like you're bringing the mind and the heart are growing together. And this is really thinking about things on a deeper level, and really, because you really have a great a greater ability to process and express your feelings, you know, considering that Mercury is a planet of communication. And it's an interesting placement when you get Mercury in a water sign, but you can really use it to your advantage, because to be able to express your feelings more eloquently is great. You know, really utilize that to your advantage here, Scorpio. And something to think about as well, this is going to be very beneficial energy for you too, because wherever your Scorpio placements are at, this is going to be forming a trine with those placements. And trines are very fortunate energy, Scorpio. They're very harmonious. They present opportunities. It's a very creative flow. You know, really kind of taps into like your natural talents and things. So be paying attention to that stuff. You know, trust your intuition. If you feel that something is, you know, there may be an opportunity for some things, or maybe there's a chance to maybe go on like a retreat, or just to kind of get to, you know, maybe kind of even check out from life a little bit. You know, kind of take care of yourself. Follow those signs there, Scorpio. But let's see what energy we got here. Wow. Cancer got the same thing on the set. Wow. So you see what I'm talking about? All right. I see it's going to be a big one for the water signs here, because you got the first card of Virgos here, which is the mother lode. I'm with it. Look at that a little birthday present from me. I know it's not your birthday, but you know, we're spreading the Cancer's just spreading the abundance right now. Because this is a card of prosperity, jackpot, success, good fortune, having plenty, money maker, sudden wealth, the real deal, on easy street, accomplishments, advantage, fortune in the prime source. In Scorpio, I will say when we're in this energy, you know, because you know, Cancer, again, you know, Cancer is a sign that really likes its security. You know, it's because like when the Cancer feels safe, all is well, you know, all is abundant. And I really feel like that this energy is saying to take a moment, and not that you don't already do this, Scorpio, to appreciate all the abundance that you have in your life, because of course we could always want more, you know what I mean? But sometimes in order to get that, to keep that abundance flowing, we do need to take time and appreciate what we have, because if we're not grateful for that, then it's just like it's not to say that you're not going to get abundance, but it's just like it slows the energy down a little bit. It makes it harder to see how just fortunate you really are, you know. And that's not to say if we've been going through a tough time, that's not to diminish that, but it is to say even in tougher energy, Scorpio, there is still abundance, there's still prosperity. And you know what, when you get through, if we are stuck in something right now, if we find ourselves something in the future, you will get out through the other end of it, Scorpio, because yours is a resilient sign. Yours is a sign of transformation and just that rebirth. So I do feel that if we have been, you know, because you've been, you know what, we're going to switch some stuff around here just a little bit for you there, Scorpio, because you do got some tough energy. We know we'll alternate. That's what we'll do here. Oh, well, I guess I didn't really move anything. So, never mind, Scorpio. But let me get back to you. I really feel like, you know, really take this time to just really, especially when we do get kind of stuck in something, you know, when you do get over that hump, make sure to appreciate that accomplishment. You know, throw yourself a wild party, you know, especially if we've been kind of eating it for a while. Because I imagine with, you know, we got Leo energy, your ruler, one of your rulers, Mars, has been in Leo for a little bit. So there may have been a little bit of little tough energy there. And then you got Jupiter that's just entered Taurus. You know, we got some interesting energies formulating here for you. But it's going to get you prosperity in the long run. It's just going to be something we're going to need to, we're playing the long game here, Scorpio, but it's going to be worth it, definitely. But let's get some tarot on this. I like that. All right, Scorpio. So see here, we got the Three of Swords in reverse. Nice, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, and then the a lot of swords here, Scorpio. So you got the Three of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Ace of Swords, and then the Eight of Swords upright. And so with this energy, if we've been kind of stuck in our heads as of late, Scorpio, maybe there's been some stuff that's been going down. You know, maybe we haven't been feeling as abundant. Maybe we've been on hard street as opposed to being on easy street. where I do get when we're in the middle of maybe doing some healing, you know, maybe we're just, well, how do I want to put this? I get that we're sometimes when we're in a tough situation, it can be hard to see how, what is the point of this lesson? You know, it's like, why? I almost feel, Scorpio, it's like we can get to this place of just like why me, in the sense of just like, what did I do to maybe deserve this? You know, that's this kind of, that's kind of what this energy is giving me. It's just like, how could, what, you know, what, you know, in what ways did I do to deserve this karma or something along those lines, Scorpio? Excuse me. If we've been feeling in that sort of headspace, we want to be mindful of our thoughts. I feel like with the Ace of Swords, if we get caught up in that, because, you know, the aces, they're seeds. And if we keep feeding into that energy and get really fixated on that type of, on that sort of like, on the lower vibration, because it's one thing to acknowledge this thing, but it's another thing to get trapped in it, Scorpio. We want to figure out how we can start doing some healing for that. You know, we want to try to start countering, seeing if we can find the abundance in this tough time here, because that's the whole point of these situations. In order for us to get to a stronger version of ourselves, in order to get that transformation, we have to go through some darkness first. You know, we got to put in that shadow work. But again, it's going to be worth it in the long run, because you're going to get the mother load. And then too, you know, with this Cancerian energy, I really feel like it's being careful, really, Scorpio, about getting kind of wrapped up in that and getting stuck in our heads, because it can slow the healing process down. And that's okay. You know, like when we're going through this process, feel it, Scorpio, understand what's going down. Absolutely. But we got to find that balance at some point. You know, we don't want to stay here. I feel like we don't want to keep this energy going, because with the Eight of Swords, it almost feels like, you see how it's a matter of how we're, because here, in a sense, everything is fine. You know, so we're looking at this girl here, it's just in her head, she's telling herself that she, you know, it's just like, it's chaotic and she feels trapped in things. But you can free your mind, Scorpio. You have the power to tap into, because the nice thing about this, the Eight of Swords is like a self-imposed prison. You know, it's one thing but the nice thing is that you built this prison up, so you can dismantle this whenever you're ready, whenever it makes sense. And I'm not saying you have to do this right this second, like go be healed, Scorpio. No, take the time as it needs, but just make sure that we are taking at least one step at a time. You know, just like, however, if we're taking baby steps one day and then maybe the following day we're crawling a little bit more, the next thing we're walking, because it's not the first time that you've been stuck in this situation, Scorpio, and it won't be in the last, but it makes you, again, it makes you more resilient. And when we take these experiences and use them to our advantage, you can overcome anything, because you are the prime source for your abundance. You know, you are the one who can heal this stuff. And you know, this is something too, maybe this is, as I was saying that, you know, where you're going to be the one putting in this work for sure for this healing, but that doesn't mean that you're by yourself, Scorpio, in this. You know, this could be something where maybe share these thoughts with some people. You know, if you've been finding that it has been a lot to bear by yourself, you know, because it happens. That's the beauty of a soul tribe. You know, we're there for each other, you know, to build ourselves up in the brilliant times of success and motherload, and in the lower times when we're healing and we're struggling and we're maybe feel down and all of this stuff. But it's all going to be worth it in the long run, Scorpio. All right, let's get some more on this. All right, Scorpio. All right, last little bit here. So you got the Three of Cups and the World in reverse here, but then we have the Emperor upright. And this is kind of what I was talking about, Scorpio. This card here, Mercury in Cancer, the Three of Cups. And I do feel like that for some of you. You know, if you've been feeling kind of stuck in a cycle, maybe, you know, really just been kind of trapped and feeling restricted. It's just like, how can we move on? Again, maybe reaching out to some friends possibly, you know. And this could be something too, you know, with the Three of Cups. Just sometimes. Especially if we've been kind of feeling kind of stuck in something. I feel that we can use like maybe distractions as far as like, maybe we're going out, and because the Three of Cups can also be a card of like possibly celebrations, parties and things along those lines. And if we've been maybe, been trying to ignore these things, or maybe not been trying to really feel these feelings, we got to be careful about that, especially being a water sign, Scorpio. We got to make sure we got to feel it to heal it, and realize again that it's getting you to your highest vibration here, getting you to feel more confident in yourself. This is not meant to beat you up and just keep you down all the time and got you thinking that life just sucks. No, this is to help you get passionate about life. It's just like, okay, this is my current challenge, bring it on. What do we got to do? What's this work looking like? What can I tackle today? And at the end of each day, Scorpio, make it a routine. Just think with this Virgo energy. Applaud yourself. However you brought it today, whatever your 100% look like, celebrate that, because that is a win. Just even think with that Three of Cups, because that could be something too where we're sure we may be on this process of healing, but maybe we want things to go a little faster. Maybe we just want to be over this thing already. And Scorpio, believe me, I get it. But the more you come to understand what this is trying to teach you, and the more you make moments to celebrate this stuff, this is going to be nice too, Scorpio, when you do get through this thing. When other members of your soul tribe are going through it, you can be that rock to lean on when it's their time, when they've been struggling, because you remember how they had your back then. And it's just like, that's how the reciprocity happens, and that's how we strengthen those bonds. And that's exactly what better way to solidify closer relationships and sharing these feelings with our loved ones, and really work with that Cancerian energy. That's opportunities aplenty right there, Scorpio, for growth. So I'm with it. Dope, Scorpio. That's a cool start. Let's get some tea. Let's talk about this Leo energy, because Mercury's going to be a little busy this season, because Mercury is going to enter Leo on the 11th. We got Mercury, we got Leo, in Leo. We have Mercury, and then we got Venus, so much energy, in Venus in Leo. And Mercury is going to enter Leo on the 11th of July, and will be there through the 28th of July. And with this energy, Scorpio, communication is going to become a little more straightforward. Leo energy is very bold, very much, put they just, they like to shine bright and be the center of attention. I got Mercury in Leo, actually. And this energy is about really expecting, speaking of celebrations, this can be an energy where we can surround ourselves with a lot of jokes and a lot of laughter, because Leo is very fun, very creative energy, imaginative. So we can maybe maybe we get around, maybe share these, because, the thing too, Scorpio, when I'm even thinking about this jokes and laughters and stuff, because even in these tough situations, when we do start getting through the healing, I feel like a good indicator that we're getting closer to, getting back, feeling harmonious again, is when we are able to look back and kind of laugh at this, and not laugh at yourself for feeling this way, but just kind of laugh at how the universe can really just throw us some curveballs sometimes, and how energies can manifest. It really is. Sometimes it's kind of fascinating here, Scorpio. I'll give you, I just, speaking of trine energy, I just had your other ruler, Pluto, is doing some work around my moon sign right now over the next couple of years, and it's trine energy, but how it translated this first go round was, in hindsight, it's kind of funny, but I'm still trying to find the humor in it. But it was interesting. It was an easy energy, but it's just like, man, is that how it translates? But you get to be able to tell a joke about it, and it helps to it can be a cathartic feeling. But then also, because Leo is very creative energy, this could be something too, maybe to help process this thing, maybe doing some art, whether that be maybe some woodworking, maybe we're creating apps on the internet, graphic design, woodworking, map, cartography. I don't know why I'm with it, Scorpio. You drawing up maps? Absolutely. But You know, it's just really tapping into that creative energy, and also just, you know, putting yourself out there, you know, and just allowing yourself to, you know, maybe again, just like maybe be amongst some loving energies, you know, surround yourself with some good friends and things along those lines. And then with Venus being in Leo, Venus entered Leo earlier on the 5th of June and will be there through the 8th of October. Yeah, she's going to be there she's going to be partying Leo for a minute. She's going to be going retrograde towards the end of July, which we'll talk about on the next monthly spread. But with this, Venus and Leo can make extroverts out of all of us, you know, really kind of allow us to just like get out there and again have some fun, really be out there, you know, look for some just for some excitement, for some joy. And this is a great energy for some you know, for really building your self-confidence. And maybe if we were thinking about looking for a little love there, Scorpio, you know, that might be something too to check out. You know, Venus, it's very loving energy. I also got Venus in Leo, but also something to pay attention to, Scorpio, because Venus deals with like relationships and finances and things to security and balance and things along those lines. So you just want to be mindful of drama, because on an unbalanced end, Leo can be a bit over dramatic. You know, with this, with your ruler, other ruler Mars in Leo, there was I had noticed that there were some things that really were kind of getting blown out of proportion there. So just another thing to be mindful of. But last thing, we're going to get an oracle on this. Depending again where your Scorpio placements are at, these planets are going to be forming squares with your sign. And squares are more kind of conflicting energy. There may be a little internal conflict. You might be feeling restricted in some areas. There may be some challenges. You might be feeling a little more irritated than normal. And again, squares, I feel like, are meant to remind you of that you can overcome opportunities. You know, it's kind of like the universe just sort of like, imagine like, when I think of squares, it's like your car breaks down and it's like they're going to be in the shop for like a month, and so we got to figure out how we're going to maybe get to our work. How's our commute looking? Do we need to take public transportation? Do we take Uber? Do we take, you know, like however that's looking? It reminds you of how resourceful you can be in situations like this, and how you can keep it together, and how you can rise above with whatever the world universe throws at you, Scorpio. But when you do work with that energies, man, it's talk about abundance, but it's just a little bit of tension at first. But let's get an oracle on this. All right, let's see what we got here, Scorpio. Nice. All right, you got the first card of Gemini's here, which is the Sapphire card. And with this card, this is a card of mental force, spiritual insight, hope and faith, wise judgment, power and strength, kindness, life of the party, look at you, extroverted, motivate, precious, valued, holy, divine favor, and revered. And you know what, Scorpio? Just talking about that life of the party, that extroverted, you know, this may be a time, maybe we've been keeping ourselves kind of locked up. Maybe we've been dealing with a lot of things. And listen, I'm not saying you have to like force yourself out to, you know, putting yourself in anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. You know, I feel like get out when you're ready, but just something to think about. You know, this could be even just like a small little get together here, maybe a couple of, you know, intimate friends. You know, maybe we're having like a game night, or maybe we'll meet up at like a park, or maybe go to like the lake, or whatever that's looking like, Scorpio. Maybe I'm just looking at him with this chess piece, you know, maybe we're playing some chess. I don't know, Scorpio. But I do feel that when we do just like really just bringing in some fun energies into your life, because when you think about Gemini energy, Gemini they're the communicators of the zodiac. So too, you know, just like try not to keep this stuff bottled up as well. And maybe sharing this stuff with someone that you trust, that you feel can really help, just help you navigate through this energy here, Scorpio. But I also feel like with this, when we do focus on this work, Scorpio, you can find the spiritual insight in there. It's going to take some mental force. And I will say with that life of the party as well, just be mindful of that. I just want to be mindful of any sort of like escapism or anything along those lines, because it's one thing to have, you know, to get out and have a good time, but it's another thing if we're distracting ourselves and if we're staying stuck in a cycle, and if we're trying to avoid, you know, maybe facing some heavier emotions. So But let's get yeah, let's get some tarot on that. And I like that the kindness as well, Scorpio. Absolutely, in this energy, be kind to yourself. Show, you know, we all go through these experiences, but they're meant to help us in the long run. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here, Scorpio. Nice, there's Cancer. Oh, and there's this, and Gemini. Oh, come on, Scorpio, this is fantastic. Because you got the Sun, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers up right here, and then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. And so here's the thing, Scorpio. If there's something that we've been feeling kind of stuck on, you know, this is the Sun in Scorpio. And if there's something that we've been kind of stuck on that's been kind of holding us back, you know, maybe we're having troubles moving past here, let's shed some light on that with the Sun. How can we get past this stuff? What healing do we need to do? And again, Queen of Cups is super compassionate. She values all of her experiences, especially, you know, when she's been in Eight of Swords, because they say she's got to, you know, Cancerian energy is about experiential wisdom. You know, sometimes we got to go through these things to understand the stuff, to really shape who we, you know, to become into our highest vibration, Emperor energy. But I really feel like, too, with the Lovers here, this can be, you know, this can be connecting with your higher self and really listening to those internal systems, just like, hey, you know, how can we grow from this situation here? What lessons am I trying to get from this stuff? What stuff has been, because this could be, you know, maybe this is some sort of like, you know, because the Sun can be kind of childlike energy. When you think about Leo, we get in that creative energy with greater creation than a child. This could be something where maybe we have some childhood things that we've been carrying from the past that have really seeped into adulthood here, and that there's maybe some old patterns that might need to be worked out here. But we got to pay attention to that, you know, really commune with ourselves, do some meditation, do that spiritual insight, you know, learn ourselves so that we can gain that wisdom and find that hope and that faith again, Scorpio, because I mean it's beautiful right here. This is fantastic, but it's just we got to find these areas that we may be getting hung up on, might be getting fixated on. And listen, Scorpio, you're the fixed water sign, you know, and the fixed signs, they can be sometimes when they get locked in on something, it can be hard to break that trend, you know, and get to that state. Even though you're a sign of transformation, it's just like, try not to let this thing where we want to observe and heal this stuff, we want to try to avoid, you know, like drowning in this, you know. And just really, there's a high thing of just like reflection, because this is going to bring you balance in the long run, and it's going to bring you this sense of peace and serene and calm. But it's just something that we work on. And then, you know, even again, you know, how we're communicating to ourselves, you know, what things are, where are our thoughts at? Okay. I like that, Scorpio. Syncing up with the energies, we're doing some healing, we found some sunlight, you know. I like that. Now let's talk about your ruler, Mars, one of your rulers, because Mars, let me get some tea. Mars is going to be moving from Leo into Virgo. So we can still get, for the first, you know, little bit of maybe first couple weeks of Cancer season, we'll still be in Leo. But Mars is going to move into Virgo on the 10th of July and will be there through the 27th of August. And this is a really dope placement for your sign. And this may be something too. You may notice that maybe we can get into a different routine here, because Virgo deals with routines and they're very detail oriented. And this is very efficient energy, you know, for Mars. You know, Mars being a sign of action and Virgo being a sign of, you know, they're all about getting to work and, you know, really perfecting themselves and getting themselves to that highest vibration. So this is great for focusing on your health, both mental, physical, you know, spiritual, all of that. But be mindful, but because Virgos can be on a lower vibration, you know, because they can be considered, you know, people look at them as perfectionists. They can be overly critical at times, and it's not because, like, it's because they know that what they're capable of and what they can achieve, but sometimes that that pressure can really be to your detriment, Scorpio. So we just want to be mindful of being overly critical of ourselves. But the nice thing, I do feel like too, with your ruler entering into Virgo, this is going to form a sextile with your Scorpio placements. And after the trine, Scorpio, or yeah, you're a very beneficial placement, Scorpio. But with us after the trine, sextiles energies are very fortunate energies. It's very easy flowing, but the thing is they're kind of passive and they're not really dynamic. It's something that we're going to need to when the opportunity comes for healing or for whatever opportunities come up for you. And if it feels like there's going to be some expansion, some growth, some healing that's going to happen from that, let's take some action, Scorpio, and see where that leads you. Let's see if we can maybe get ourselves stuck out of this cycle and get on, because after the world, we start back over as the Fool into new opportunities. So be thinking about that. And I really feel like too, again, if we've been kind of stuck in some sort of got stuck in our heads, maybe we've been telling ourselves some negative things. It's just like, how can we counteract that energy? I feel like for every negative thing we might be telling ourselves, let's counteract that with a positive, and let's get in the routine of lifting ourselves up and reminding ourselves how abundant we are and how prosperous, how wise we're going to be when we get through this thing here, Scorpio. But let's get an oracle on this. Yeah. All right, Scorpio. Nice, absolutely. We don't get to work, Scorpio. You got the 8th card of Taurus here, which is the Beehive card. And with this card, this is a card of diligent, persistent, stamina, application, tireless, mindful, hard work, devoted, fruitful, busy, conscientious, energetic, continual, harvest, endurance, effort, patience, and concentration. And I do feel like probably especially for you and for Aries, this may feel like a time, with Mars moving into this Virgo energy, that this is a great time to get to work, to really work on where again, whatever areas we might be feeling kind of weak in, if we notice anything in the future that may come up, how can we take that energy and apply it to apply some growth to it. But I do feel like with this card, be careful about overworking yourself. Be mindful of your energies. Make sure that because I feel like, we don't want to be in a, where we're working ourselves to death here, where we're just we're exhausting our energies. Where I know that you do have the staying power, you have the endurance, but it's just just be mindful how hard we're pushing, through this growth in things. But I do feel like if you stay persistent in this growth and, and putting in this and doing this shadow work and things, it is going to be a very fruitful time for you. We can make the mother load. I mean, you started out abundant here, Scorpio, but in order to get to that abundance, we got to maintain that stuff. We got to stay diligent in this growth and be mindful of the areas that we are feeling kind of weakened here. It's going to take some effort, and it's going to be worth it in the long run. But I also kind of feel with this, that maybe for some others, this could be something too where maybe if we're just kind of think about with the Emperor, if maybe some of us, if we're thinking about maybe thinking about going for a promotion or something along those lines, possibly, maybe trying to boss up here a little bit and maybe take on more responsibilities or something along those lines. I feel that where, again, be mindful of your energies, but if that's something that's resonating with you, you want to, you're trying to get into maybe that manager, that CEO, or maybe we're even starting to start our own thing, Scorpio. I feel like as long as it's going to bring you happiness, it's going to raise your vibration, it's, really something that you connect with, then yeah, I feel like this could be a very abundant energy for you. But let's get some tarot on this. All right, Scorpio, let's see what we got here. Alrighty, so you have the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Wands in reverse here, and then we have the Ace of Wands upright. And so, Scorpio, I do feel like with this energy, I almost feel like with this, that one, I feel like it's, again, being mindful of how we might be channeling our energy, because this Ace of Wands is almost giving me like we might be maybe throwing ourselves into possibly even work or something along those lines to possibly, you know, distract ourselves from maybe dealing with some of these things. And because where I do understand, you know, because where I don't feel like we want to necessarily, you know, we don't want to wallow in energy and stay, you know, and stay stuck in something, but we do want to make sure that we are acknowledging these feelings and not just working through them, because that stuff's going to add up over time. It's going to create this like internal conflict, you know, if we don't get eyes on these things, or if we just kind of like, it almost feels like we're kind of powering through this stuff. And if this is something that we've noticed that we were doing, Scorpio, we want to be truthful with ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, Scorpio. You know, sometimes these feelings and things or whatever situations are going down are tough. And sometimes we do need to check out and maybe get lost in our work for a little bit. But I do feel like it's just like a balance. You know, let's not put ourselves at detriment here. You know, at some point, I feel like, you know, higher self really, because, you know, if we keep these things bottled up here and we don't face this stuff, that's the quickest way to get to a tower moment, maybe even a hanged man situation where we got to pause, or we were slowing down or things like that. But yeah, if we're just feeling any kind of conflict or anything, let's get a game plan here. You know, let's try to figure out how we can relieve some of this tension or something along those lines. But you know, there's a little bit more in this Ace of Wands. Let's get a little bit more on that, Scorpio. More? All those? Okay, dope. Oh, there you are, Scorpio. I'm with it. Okay, so you have the Ace of Wands is clarified by the Magician, the Death and Rebirth card, and the Six of Swords, and they're all upright. And so you know, Scorpio, if we're trying to move on past things, you know, I do feel like that it's in order to get to this change, we have to figure out what we need to let go here with the Six of Swords. You know, what is that what could possibly be holding us down? And when we do get eyes on that, it's working on getting this stuff back in balance here. You know, how can we get this foundation sturdy again for this next chapter in our lives, you know, as we're going through this healing. But I do feel like that this could be something too, like, it's almost like, Scorpio, that I almost feel like for some others, this is interesting, Scorpio, it's like I don't know if it almost feels like that we're trying to move on. Maybe it's like, let me get one more on this death card here. Interesting. Okay, so you got the Five of Pentacles in reverse here. So I almost feel like with this, Scorpio, if we've been feeling like in this place of where we just been kind of alone in this thing, or just like if it just feels like that, it's like if this is not how, maybe we've just moved on from something and maybe we found ourselves in like a repeating situation or something along those lines. I feel like this Five of Pentacles is saying like there's something more that needs to be dealt with. You know, there's something deeper. If we're just noticing like a repeating cycle or something from the past here that's not being dealt with, you know, maybe this could even go deep, Scorpio, is maybe even like I was saying, maybe like a childhood thing or something along those lines. But I feel like if we don't get eyes on this thing and find out where we're feeling maybe this sense of lack or maybe this poverty or something along those lines, I'm not quite sure what that is, but again, I feel like it's like we're trying to take everything on. Oh, where are we at? Trying to take everything on by ourselves here, something along those lines, Scorpio. But just be mindful of that, because yeah, there's some type of work that's needing to be done here in order for us to really embrace this change and to really get fully into this rebirth here. So, what? All right, Scorpio, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that was interesting little pocket there, but I feel like it's, yeah, interesting little pocket there, Scorpio. But let's get some tea, and then let's get on to Taurus energy. We got a couple planets chilling in Taurus. We have Jupiter that just entered Taurus not too long ago, and then Uranus has a couple more years in Taurus. And with Jupiter being Taurus, Jupiter will be in Taurus until the 25th of May next year, 2024. And with this energy, this is about thinking of that long-term security. And this can be in any areas that we want to grow in. You know, maybe we are trying to build some type of business, or maybe we're trying to grow emotionally, you know, move on past for some spiritual things. You know, maybe we're moving, we're starting fresh, you know, going on to whatever this is looking like, Scorpio. If we don't like the location that we're even at or where we're living, then Jupiter in Taurus is asking ourselves, how can we get just like long-term abundance and like keep this growth going, you know, to where you're feeling fulfilled, you know, where it's just like, it's where we're getting these wins, you know, and we're feeling that we're feeling at our best, you know. And yeah, it's just like if there's any areas with again that aren't feeling stable right now, it's just what can we do to create that stability, with the Magician being here. And then you have Uranus in Taurus, is going to be in Taurus for until 2025, towards the beginning of July. And with Uranus being in Taurus, I mean, we're in a lot of change right now. And this is an interesting energies for you, Taurus, for you, Scorpio, because Taurus is your opposite sign, and that's going to be forming an opposition with your energies, with your Scorpio placements. And just like squares, oppositions they bring polarity, you know, they bring tension. There might be some challenges, some conflicts, you know. This more so almost kind of deals with like situations that maybe other people might bring to you, some decisions that need to be made, and how we can integrate these energies. But it's one of those things, when you do, it's going to lead to that sunshine and to that happiness in the long run. But it is something that is going to take some work, and you know, it's going to be for the next year, Scorpio. So, and it's not to say that it's just going to be you're just going to be eating it all the time, but it's just something to be mindful of, so that you can kind of brace yourselves for these energies, be present during those things, and see how these energies are trying to get you to grow. But yeah, let's get an oracle on this. Nice, Scorpio. Aries energy. So you got the 5th card of Aries here, which is the slingshot card. And with this card, this is a card, opposition energy. Tension, strain, sudden, anxiety, pressure, launch, stressed, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions, ready, aim, fire. And so with this slingshot, Scorpio, this is exactly what oppositions and squares are bringing. You know, you may notice energies of tension, of anxieties, of pressure, and feeling stress. And if that's the case, Scorpio, finding little pockets for yourself, you know, in this energies of doing some self-care, you know, with the Queen of Cups, and making sure that we are just being mindful of this Ace of Wands here, and that we're not putting ourselves in detriment here. And if there's something, Scorpio, like that, maybe I really am getting a strong emphasis. If you really are feeling a lot of pressure, and things have just been, we just haven't been able to maybe get things started, or just again, we've been feeling stuck. I feel like that there's like, you know, maybe reaching out to an Emperor or Queen of Cups, however this looking, just sharing in this stuff and not trying to do this thing by yourself. But I'm also kind of feeling with this that maybe for some others, you know, just thinking with that beehive card, maybe this is something where we're getting ready to start up a business, possibly. How you came up here with the Magician, we'll clarify with the Ace of Wands, and maybe there's something that you're getting ready to manifest here, but maybe we're feeling a little nervous. Maybe it's going to be, maybe it's more work than we might be anticipating, or something along those lines. But I feel that if this is something that you're really passionate about, you know, again, like, be patient, be persevere through this stuff. Again, take care of your energies. Make sure we're getting enough rest. But I feel that it's going to be something that, especially if this is like a passion of yours or something that you know is going to bring you some happiness or some fulfillment, I say definitely go and let's start manifesting that stuff, Scorpio. But let's get some tarot on this. All right, Scorpio. Interesting. Okay, so you have the moon in reverse here, which is dope. And then we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Ten of Swords. And so, Scorpio, I almost feel like with this Knight of Wands energy, I almost feel like that for some of us, that maybe we may be like, it's like we're trying to, I don't know, like I'm getting like we're rushing through something, or maybe this, whatever this energy is that may have got us, you know, where we might be healing from, or like, because Ten of Swords can be pretty intense energy. This can be a card of betrayal, a card of like rock bottom, and maybe that's where all this work is coming in. Maybe we've been at the bottom, and it's just like, how do we get up from this thing? You know, how do we get out of this illusion? Or not out of this illusion, but it's like, how do we get out of this feeling in this state here? And it's just like, you can feel like maybe it's impossible to get over. But with the moon popping up in reverse here, this is a card of illusions, and a card of, you know, like, I feel like it's like a card of telling ourselves, like, we believing that something is impossible, when that isn't the case, Scorpio, because after the moon is the sun. But it's just like, we have to face those fears and realize that, again, these situations is not meant to try to break you or anything along those lines. You can rise up above this stuff. It's just a matter of believing that you can and knowing that you can, Scorpio, because it's like, you've done it before and you will do it again in the future. And, you know, if we're in something right now, or when we get in something later, because here's the thing, Scorpio, and you know, maybe this, it's a weird kind of thing, but maybe this can provide some comfort. We're always going to run into stuff like this. You know, it's part of the cycles. It strengthens us every single go round here. But the nice thing about the Ten of Swords is, when you do hit that bottom spot, the only way to go is up. The only way to go is up. And yeah, it's going to be some work. There may be some times where you might feel strained, but once you get that thing set in motion and begin to do that healing, man, the growth, the transformation that comes through that, the rebirth is astounding. And it really does show you that you can, that you have what it takes. But it's a choice of, do we want to stay in this place of, you know, believing that we can't, that we're just drowning and that we can't possibly get out of this thing, or again, that we can rise above, and that we can embody this. Yeah, really, Scorpio, that we can just like, that we can get out of this. So, all right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave that there, but you're very, because you got some pretty, you got a little, you know, a little sword heavy here. We're trying to find some balance, but it's just like, yeah, you know, let's get into, hold on, you know, let's get some, get a little more positive energy in this mix. So hold on, Scorpio. Speaking of Saturn, the world, Pisces, the moon is Pisces. In Pisces, we have Neptune and we have Saturn in Pisces. And you know, we're starting to get into, we're really starting to pick up into get into a retrograde heavy time here, Scorpio, especially around, once we do get around Virgo season. It's like everybody's about to be retrograde. But Saturn is retrograde in Pisces right now and will be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with Saturn being in Pisces, or retrograding in Pisces, this is asking you, Scorpio, you know, just like, what have we been doing up until this point? You know, have we gotten stuck in some kind of cycle? You know, have we been wanting to, are we following our dreams? You know, is this how we pictured life going? And if not, what can we do to fix that? And with them being in Pisces, Saturn being in Pisces as well, Pisces is very spiritual energy. And again, this can be something where we're getting in touch, like how we're talking about that Sapphire card, getting more spiritual insight on yourself, you know, maybe doing some meditation, maybe going by some water, anything to get you in a more Zen place so that we can process some of these emotions here, or something along those lines, Scorpio, because it's just like you got like all the swords and cups, and it's just like, I feel like it's trying to find this balance, or something along those lines. But definitely be thinking about that, Scorpio. You know, just what are some ways that we can get closer to this sunlight here, and how can we start really manifesting our goals. But also with Neptune's actually going to get ready to start going retrograde here in a minute too. On the 30th, Mercury will turn retrograde on the 30th of June and will be retrograde through the 6th of December. And with this, Scorpio, this is a powerful time for introspection and for self-discovery, and really connecting with your inner self and that inner wisdom, and just understanding what you are, what you want to bring to this world. You know, what you were meant to manifest, what you were meant to. And really just like, in what ways can you really grow and make the most out of this energy here? Because here's the thing too, even though both of them are retrograding back, this energy here, just like with the Cancer energy, is forming a trine with your sign. So this is a mad opportunity for you, Scorpio, for some incredible growth. It's abundance. It can come out of this, but it's just like, because your energies have been really kind of tough here these last couple of weeks with these readings. You know, I'm noticing that. Excuse me. I'm noticing that. It's just been sort of like it feels like we've maybe just been kind of in it for a while, and I feel like try not to lose hope, Scorpio. This is it. Let's get an oracle on this and get a little bit more. Interesting. There we go, Scorpio. That's what I'm talking about. You got the first card of Leo's here, which is the Knight card. And with this card, there's a card of confident, heroic, messenger, fearless, assertive, passionate, fighting spirit, persevering, chivalry, honor, determined, obeying orders, brave, daring, strong, and champion of a cause. And I feel like the cause, you know, that you're championing, Scorpio, is you. Right now, this is a time to really focus on where you at on your journey right now, and really focus on, and just if any of this has been resonating with you, if we've been feeling stuck, down, whatever that's looking like, how can we build this confidence back up? How can we because Scorpio, you really are, you're a sign of, you bring change, you know, and granted, the change can be intense sometimes, but it's necessary, because if there was no Scorpio energy, everything would just stagnate, and it would be a hot mess. I mean, can you imagine if we have, just even thinking from like youth, if we stayed in that same type of cycle over again, you know, what's what, you know? And I feel that, I don't know, Scorpio, if we need to maybe do like where we're posting affirmations all over the place, or maybe, you know, I'm gonna talk about this later, but if we don't have like a meditation thing, or if we want a tool, there's a meditation app I like, Insight Timer. They have they have like guided meditations, healing music, things along those lines. Just bringing more peace or something in there to keep those. And you know, Scorpio, this could be something too, you know, how I was talking about with that art and things along those lines. You know, maybe doing maybe making some moments for you to get into some type of creative space. Because sometimes too, And I was actually just talking with someone about this. When we allow ourselves to get in that state of expression, those deep, dark things really do translate and can show us where the work is. Like higher self, I feel like it really doesn't try to keep these stuff, like it's not really sneaky about the healing. It's just when it makes sense for us to handle it. For example, Scorpio, there was I had wrote a little album like a while back. I have a musical background, and at first I had planned on doing something with it, but I'm glad I didn't, because I went to listen back to it. This was about maybe 6 months ago or so. I went to listen back to it again, and all that I had heard through those songs was just like a cry for help. It was really just sort of just really, but it was coded, and I spent so much time jamming to it that I didn't realize how much of that of my world had embodied that. Sure, on the outside, everything looked fantastic, but internally, it was just turmoil. You know, it was frustration and all of this stuff here, Scorpio. And I feel like if we were to really, just allow yourself to lose yourself in whatever passion that you have, whether this could be music, this could be art, maybe this is gardening or whatever this is, I feel like this can really help you get eyes on where we need to really grow and how we can maybe heal from some of this stuff here, and so that we don't stay stuck in the past and stay fixated on whatever energy is that's got us caught up, so we can move to different horizons here and realize that we can get over this stuff. Because Seven of Swords in reverse, this is saying to me, it's just like, because we can get caught up in, and I don't want to say necessarily, and yes, it is lies. When we tell ourselves that we can't get over something, absolutely, we're lying to ourselves, because we can, because we have in the past, and we'll do it again and do it again and do it again, because that's the part of this journey. And I know that sucks sometimes, Scorpio, where it's just like, you don't want to rise up sometimes. Just, I'm tired of shadow work. I get it. But it's going to bring you abundance. It's one of those things. It's just, it's going to bring you happiness when you get past that little moment, that storm right there. It's sunshine, and then you become the calm, the eye of the storm in all of this. But let's get some tarot on this, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. I dig it. So we have the Queen of Swords upright, and then we have the Knight of Swords, the Page of Cups, and then the Two of Cups in reverse here. And so I feel like with this, Scorpio, when we get eyes on this thing and really understand how this has, whatever this situation has, if we've really gotten and if we're in something, or if we get something in the future, if we notice that we do get stuck while we're working on ourselves, it's remembering that, yes, or how do I want to put this? Because I really feel like, Scorpio, it's almost like this sense of doubt, where it's almost like we feel like maybe we feel like we've lost like a connection with ourselves, or just like maybe you're not feeling like you're like normal you, or something along those lines. Let me get more on this Two of Cups here. That's interesting. Yeah, Scorpio. Okay, so you got the Two of Cups is clarified by the Seven of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in reverse here. And yeah, Scorpio, this really does feel like that we need to be mindful maybe of how we may be how we may be channeling our energies, because it seems like that what we may be doing right now is it's stifling our growth. You know, it's getting us in this place where maybe we feel that we've failed ourselves in some kind of ways, or maybe we've just been yeah, it's very fascinating, Scorpio. I feel like it's just like we maybe think that we can't seem to create something, or maybe this was like a certain relationship or something that may have put us in this state where it just like really kind of rocked us. You know, this could be maybe like a familial relationship, maybe it was a love relationship, whatever this is. But I do feel that this is something where this situation doesn't define you in the sense of that it's like this is over. This to me, and if this is some type of relationship thing, there is value in that, because all the relationships that come into our lives are not random. They're meant to help us grow in some capacity, but it's seeing the growth for it's realizing that you did not mess up in any kind of way. You know what I mean? And then like, and I'm, you know, not knowing the situation, like it's not, I'm, you know, I hope you know what I mean? It's like, I don't feel like it's like if let's say this is on your end, you know, I mean, like as far as like something happened to you, I feel like it's not like, I feel like it's not that you're a failure, that's something that, how could you not see this coming or anything? This energy here, one nugget of wisdom, it teaches you discernment. And I almost feel like with this, Scorpio, too, just be careful maybe of how we go in the future, because I'm just thinking with the pages here, this could be where maybe we might be afraid of starting up something new, possibly if this is a relationship thing, for example. You know, maybe we're like, oh, well, you know, I've been betrayed in the past and like no one's going to be able to, you know, we're not allowing anyone in here again, you know, or we're going to have to do some real intense guidelines, or they're going to need to put in this work. And where, yes, I do agree, work needs to be had, but it's got to be on both ends, Scorpio, because this person here, or, you know, if we get new people in the future, this is not something where they didn't do anything yet. You know, this is something we got to learn these people first. We got to both put in work, because that's something where we don't want the past to hinder this growth or anything along those lines. We got to be mindful of how energies may have affected us, but I'm also getting, really, Scorpio, I just feel like deep down, like this is something where we just maybe need to just like take a moment and just like kind of really be with ourselves right now, and maybe just do some nurturing work, you know, however that looks, like self-care to the max, you know, just like, again, find that confidence, you know, do some things, some stuff for you right now, and just really focus on finding your yeah, just finding you again, if any of this has been resonating with you. So, all right. Yes, interesting energy here, Scorpio. Let's get some more tea. Let's get to your get to this last energy here. Your other ruler, Pluto. Because Pluto is going to be just retrograded back into Capricorn, depending on when you're watching this. It actually happened just yesterday on the 11th of June, and will be retrograde, just in retrograde state until the 10th of October. And with Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn, you know, there are going to be a lot of changes that are going to be happening globally. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when outer planets are moving, things really go to work there, Scorpio. But you know, because the outer planets affect more generation. When you think of like Saturn, even Jupiter, even Mars. Now Mars is getting a little bit personal, but Jupiter on down, you know, they really start to affect. They affect us on an individual level, of course, but definitely more so on a global level too. So there may be changes in, like, because, you know, Capricorn deals with like authorities and ambitions and things along those lines, structure, and there's going to be a lot of changes going down there. You know, Pluto is talk about ultimate death and rebirth. You know, he's clearing a higher octave of Mars, clears out all this stuff here so that newness can grow. But Pluto in Capricorn asks us if we haven't felt like we're in a good place, or that if we're not. It's like, what does accomplishment look like to you? You know, what would help you get to the state of feeling like you've achieved something, or that your structure is feeling, you know, that your foundation is feeling solid. You know what I mean? And yeah, it really asks ourselves some deep questions. And if there's some things that are holding us back, what can we do to let go, to move on to this new future here? Because we got things are, Pluto's been going to work, Scorpio. Pluto's not playing around. But again, you can use that to your advantage, because I mean that's your other ruler here. And again, who better to tackle change and to face this stuff better on than you, Scorpio? You know, sometimes I feel like with Scorpio energy, because things can feel like they happen more intense to you, it can feel like, you know, again, why does this have to be so much for me? But it's just because the universe knows that you can handle it, and what's trying to mold, or what you're getting ready to become, is going to be something incredible. But it's gonna, you know, sometimes, you know, when the energies are, you know, just because you're in an opposition and in a you know, squared situation right now, it's you know, spotlights on you and, you know, a couple other signs here, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. It's really going to help shape you into something really beautiful, Scorpio. But let's get let's get an oracle on this. Nice. Okay. So we got the 7th card, and I like this. You got the 7th card of Leo, which is the Declaration card. And with this card, this is a card of defiance, reclaiming power, sovereignty, contract, resolve, expressing truth, manifesto, self-rule, liberty or death, rules of the game, protesting, and challenging the status quo. In Scorpio, honestly, with where this, you know, for some of you, you know, maybe this is like a let's talk a little business here. Though maybe we're bringing some change. If this is something where we've been wanting to, because absolutely, like I was saying, the rules of the game are changing, you know, and this is a time to be more innovative, you know, to challenge, you know, things are how things have been running in the past and not the same old anymore, you know. And if there's something that you've been wanting to work on, I say absolutely, Scorpio, bring that innovation, bring that sunlight. Let's bring some death and some rebirth in this mug. But it's going to be work, Scorpio. I feel like, you know, whatever this is that you're tackling, it's going to be some work. You know, there's probably going to be some times where you're feeling stressed, pressured, and things along those lines. But I do feel like it's something where you don't have to do it by yourself. You know, this is something where we're in this together. You know, we're a soul tribe. So I feel like you're finding those people who are wanting to raise the vibration with you, so that we can really do that good work, Scorpio. But I'm also kind of strongly getting with this too, just considering, you know, how we were talking about getting that confidence back, you know, back-to-back Leo energy here. You know, this is an energy about if we've been feeling down, if we haven't been feeling like ourselves, or that we've just kind of lost our sovereignty, how can we get that back? How can we reclaim that balance? You know, how can we strengthen that connection with our higher selves, and really like, yeah, I feel like it's just like maybe you've just been feeling like just things have been just happening to you all the time. And here's the thing, where we may not be able to control some of the stuff, like with those squared situations and oppositions, we may not be able to control, you know, some of this, like how things are happening, but we can control how we feel about them. Especially being a water sign, you absolutely are more in tune with your emotions. So allow yourself to analyze how you're feeling in this, and then what we can do to grow from that, Scorpio. But let's get some tarot on this. I love that. Absolutely, Scorpio. All right, last little bit here. So you have the 7 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, and then the Star card. And I love this, Scorpio. Let's switch back over, because here's the thing. With the Star card, this is a reminder that there is always hope, Scorpio. That no matter what is going down, because look at this, because you started with the, you know, we got the Star here, we do that shadow work, And then we get to that sunlight, we get to that happiness. But it's remembering that you can get through this, Scorpio. And this is Aquarius's card. And I bring that up to say that they're a sign of networking. So again, I feel like that if this, whatever's been going down, if this has really been weighing on you, it's just been kind of a burden and really just been kind of stressing your energies out, it's, I almost feel like it's just like, try not to let the stress of that really bring you down, Scorpio, because the Seven of Cups, where it can be a card of choices, you know, I feel like a choice is, you know, this is in the Thoth deck. The Seven of Cups can be a card of debauchery, you know, where this is, to me, this is like a prelude to a devil moment. So we just want to be mindful of like escapism and things, and we want to just see where we're pouring our energies into right now. And if we're noticing that, because I almost feel like, Scorpio, maybe we've been, I don't, let me get a little bit more on the Six of Pentacles here. Hold on, there's, okay, Scorpio. There's that devil moment I was talking about. So Six of Pentacles is clarified by the devil, the Hermit, upright, and then the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. In Scorpio, I really feel like that it's time to pour some of your energy within, really, and really give yourself some time, you know, whatever that's looking like for you. Take this moment and really heal up, and just again, if we feel that we haven't been feeling stable in this, in where we're at right now, how can we get back on track? You know, what can we do to get this foundation feeling solid again, and feeling that, you know, we can feel happiness, and that we don't have to stay, that we're not stuck in a cycle or anything along those lines. So, you know, really in Scorpio, listen, the devil has a very unorthodox way of strengthening us, you know, Capricorn energy. But when we put in that work and just, again, just persevere, it gets you shining bright, gets you to a confidence, and you're gonna get back to your old, you know, not even to your old self. You're gonna get back to a new and improved. You're going to become a new and improved version of yourself. You know, we just got to keep growing. And listen, you know, like, I get that change sometimes because I feel like, you know, the energies have almost been a little aggressive here, Scorpio, as of late. And it does seem like that. It just seems like there's change all over the place. And I know that can be exhausting sometimes. Even being a sign of change, yeah, that can wane the spirit sometimes. But when when you do get on the other end of it, it's fantastic. It's abundant, and it's because that's how you started out. You started out with the mother load. It's just, we just got to work on building that, you know, work on finding that. But it's all up in there, Scorpios. It's tucked away. It's sneaked away in little pockets here, but it's all there for you, Scorpio. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. I hope that made sense. This was very interesting reading, but I do feel like it's one where you can, you know, really nurture yourself in this Cancerian energy, you know, really give yourself that love, that healing that you need. But, you know, if anything, you know, if you like that, Scorpio, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. You know, share this, Scorpio, because it has been. I've noticed that your energies have been, you know, just kind of on the tougher side, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks here. So, you know, that's just, you know, try to get some eyes on that, Scorpion, if we're noticing a pattern. But I'm about to get back into your reading. But yeah, share this with someone if you notice someone who might be kind of stuck in a cycle right now. And, you know, subscribe, hit that bell button. You can notify them around these videos each week. And then, like I was talking about, that meditation app, Insight Timer, that may be something for you to check out as well. There's a fantastic app. But I created a group on there called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post like positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And definitely as the group grows, I want to be able, you can schedule different meditations. Maybe we'll do like, I don't know, finding our potential with the star, or, moving, I don't know, getting happiness with the sun or something along those lines, Scorpio. But all that information is in the description box. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placement, sun, moon, rising, wherever, Scorpio, come on over to my other channel, The Sheridan Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss, where'd the moon go? We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. So you got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse here. And that's appropriate because I feel like with this, let me get your Oracle card. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight, another one of Taurus's cards. It's considered the slowest knight in the deck. And I feel like for you, Scorpio, that especially maybe if we've been trying to work through this thing, or however this might be looking, I feel like its energy is saying just kind of slow down for a second. Be present in these, as these things come up, and allow yourself these moments to heal. Because if we just go all the time, ooh, we're getting 2 cards, Scorpio. Look at you. See, told you, abundant. But if we've been just kind of go all the time, I really feel like that this is slowing down. And interesting, okay, because you got the Witch bottle for your Oracle cards. You got the Witch bottle in reverse here, but then we have the Witch lungs upright. And Scorpio, there's something here too, like maybe if we've been keeping some stuff bottled up here, or I feel like try not to let that stuff fester, let that energy breathe, give that stuff some space, because here's the thing, when we put in that shadow work and we really kind of start embracing those darker sides of ourselves and allowing them to, to incorporate that and love ourselves wholly, those darker energies can be great, powerful allies for you, Scorpio. And I mean, come on, I feel like, if anything, Scorpio, I feel like you like dabbling in the darkness sometimes, but not in like a weird way, but I feel like it's like there's mysteries down there. There's power in that when you're able to look at both light and dark and see how they work harmoniously together. And I do feel like that when you allow that, when you allow those energies to incorporate, it really does. It makes you feel so much lighter. And listen, it's going to be intense. I just, I had a little situation where I went through some kind of felt some real, very intense emotions, Scorpio. But something to maybe try, to kind of help me out. While I was going through that, just kind of looking at yourself in the mirror and facing that, there was just, it was a mess, Scorpio. There were tears, it was a whole thing, but it was just like, when you're able to look at that person and give that side of you the same amount of love that you give your normal, just always upbeat side and things along those lines, the harmony there, that's true connection with higher self right there. That really does bring something, make something brilliant can pop out of that, and that really helps your potential shine through, and really just helps you shine bright, Scorpio. So I'm with it. All right, but I hope this made sense, Scorpio. But you stay safe out there, always. No matter what, Scorpio, you stay safe out there, dealing with these emotions, maybe doing some busy work, however this might be looking on your journey. And raise your vibration through the roof. Take this Cancer season, maybe do a little hermit work. Just do some reflection and maybe some meditation, and find that inner wisdom and that guiding light again. Because you see this light that she's got hiding in there. That's the sun waiting to peek out. But sometimes we got to go find it. But you know what? What a fun journey that is. I love it. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.